Hello, Leo. Welcome to your timeless reading. Just a little bit of information about how I do readings. So, after I'm done pulling cards, I'll have four special cards generated using specific keywords. So, I'll mention those keywords at the end of the reading. So, I'll say three of them, and then the fourth one will actually be a secret keyword, a secret card. So if none of the words really fit or match your situation, you can give that one a look. So those cards I will not interpret as well. Those are meant for you to sit and meditate, reflect upon. Now, in addition to that, so my layout is a 9 card spread. So for those who are familiar with the I Ching, what I'm actually relating that to is called the lower trigram. So I can inform you on the lower trigram and which lines out of those are changing so that you can go off and cast your own remaining upper trigram and interpret the changing lines based on the overall hexagram. Alright, so with that said, let's start. Now, I do want to mention during the pre-shuffle, I got a few things actually. More specifically, I got first was the word anonymous, and then following that, I got a sensation of annoyance, also anger, and then jealousy. So it was a process in the way that I described those emotions. So you might have gone through that specifically. I think maybe for some of you, you might feel like someone got away with something, um, and that's a little annoying. Which then leads to anger and jealousy because maybe they got something that was perhaps meant for someone else or for you, or it could just be darker emotions that you're experiencing and trying to wade through, which is totally fine as well. We go through those. Um, so just as a disclaimer as well, these these readings are meant for reflective purposes. So if you ever feel like you have to reach out and talk to someone, do seek that. Um, this is just meant as a secondary reflective reading. So, all right. So the way that I read here, so the cards that you see are actually opposite to how I read them. Um, Now, immediately there's like a weight of 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 sadness, kind of like this wading through thick mud or heavy water, and you're kind of having to trudge through this for sure. Um, and I think it relates to the pre-shuffle here. So, first thing to note is uh, the Five of Cups here. So this is my Five of Cups card. Um, so this in the photo here, you have a siren actually wailing and crying in a swamp. Um, and then this is my Ten of Wands, so carrying a weight of some kind, forcing that weight around. And then this last card here is the Seven of Swords. Here it's in reverse, but so there's what it looks like upright, and he's kind of clutching something secretly, mischievously. So this might be what you're wading through, and it's in reverse here. So I think you're aware of this situation already, and like I said, you might be wading through that already. Overall, though, as the first kind of line in this trigram, it's a balanced line of yang energy. So in a hexagram, traditional hexagram, meaning it means that this is an unchanging line, so it's balanced. So this is normal. I think what you're going through, it's to be expected. So what you're feeling is okay, and I think you kind of need to hear that. The emotions you feel are okay and they are normal, from what I can tell based on the cards so far. Okay, so immediately we have unbalanced yin energy. Before I kind of touch on that, I'll look at the card specifically. So our first major arcana here is my strength card. So it's in reverse here. Here's what it looks like upright, and it's two kids and obviously a puppy there riding a chimera. So for me, it's kind of like an innocence, a part of innocence that triumphs over our fears and gives us determination to keep moving. So you might be struggling with that. Um, the other cards here, so I have the nine of swords in reverse, and then here's the eight of wands. So you might be, I'm getting this. So this is definitely also is the center of the card. This kind of might feel like general anxiety right now, um, and there's a lot of silence surrounding you in that anxiety, um, and you're kind of approaching and bumping up against what I talked about earlier. This sense of innocence that you might be struggling, like you might feel partially at fault due to whatever the situation might be, um, which could also be the case though. Though the whole line in itself is unbalanced yin. So in the I Ching, if there's an unbalanced line, it will change to the opposite corresponding line for balance. So if you think about a scale, right? So when you have one side that's really weighed down and kind of overrepresented, it has to be kind of balanced out to the opposite aspect, to bring balance. So that's what will happen here. So there's yin in general is a very passive energy. So it's an energy that keeps us from moving, and we kind of stay focused on our internal experience, our own internal personal experience, our emotions, our thoughts, and beliefs. So this might be indicating that there's some kind of action that you can take, that you can undertake, um, to to seek further perspective and dig out what really could be the issue. So that will be unique to your situation. Of course, I generally will journal and do readings to try to incorporate further reflecting as much as I can in order to dig down to the bottom. Usually, what it is some kind of belief, um, or also an experience. But for the most part, it's a belief about something that limits us in that respect. But in this case, it might not be that. Like I'm actually getting the sense that you feel slighted by someone and you're not sure what to do. This relationship might be important. Like obviously, if you're feeling those emotions, they're coming from a place of meaning. So that relationship might mean something to you, which you haven't really, you didn't expect. I don't think you expected this to happen, and that's I think a part of the sadness is seeing someone or something turn on you, and you're kind of frozen in place because you had this ideal about how this relationship or person or situation should have happened, based on all of your previous experience and evidence, and then all of a sudden it flips on its head, and then you're like, well, what do I do? You know, and that's really what I'm getting. Um, and then it kind of transforms and then turns into anger, and you have all like which could be here too. Like you might feel this anger and resentment building up within you. Um, and I'm personally Buddhist, so compassion is usually my answer, especially on a spiritual level. Um, we approach misguided people, and we have experiences that aren't because of our own actions, and we suffer due to those. And the way through that, in my opinion, is compassion. It melts barriers and reveals a lot about ourselves and others, and just gives us a general overall capacity to make better decisions and find a calm state of being. Eventually, it doesn't happen right away. Um, Definitely not right away, but it takes time. So take your time, Leo. Um, do what you need to do. Only you know what that is, and follow that. Whatever you feel you have to do to get to the bottom of this situation here. All right, yeah, definitely. Okay, more unbalanced yin here. So more even more kind of passive energy, belief, tension, building and building and building and building. Um, might feel a little bit overwhelming, like you're sitting there and just waiting for something to happen. But action is the answer. I know that might be the entire opposite of what you want to hear right now. But give it time, because here I have the moon in reverse. This is my moon card, and what this card depicts is a werewolf. So our fears kind of bubble up. Our fears and negative perspectives and beliefs about ourselves and other people, they build up through time. And if we don't treat those and give them the attention and the acknowledgement they need, eventually it will transform us into something that is very reactive and destructive, which is the werewolf. So here he's seeing himself transform. All right, and it's in reverse, so I think you recognize that. It might be upright for you, but it's in reverse for me. So I think you recognize that, and that's great. That's awesome. Um, though these two other cards here um, are kind of saying the opposite. So this is a unique card to my deck. I call or no, that so this is a reworked card. So in my deck, I've reworked the pages and added four other court cards, a new class of court. Though this is kind of reworked to be the scholar class, or sorry, court, court. Instead of page, I call them scholars, and so this is the scholar of Ignis, so fire. And so this actually depicts a statue, so you don't see the actual person that's here. It's what remains following that. So an artisan, a scholar, a very skilled person at their craft, has left something to remain past his point, kind of leaving a legacy of his own personal work, which is different from the Ten of Pentacles. This is more a legacy of his passion, um, that remains for other people to see. So this might be relating to work in some way, or something that you produce, that's a part of your passion. So whether that's a partner, that you're working towards a common goal with. I feel though like you might have lost some of your motivation um, to do work, because this is also another card that shows a skilled craftsman, um, and it's in reverse as well. So I'm really getting a slow moving energy like that, like I described earlier, like wading through a swamp. Um, so this is like ultimately um, what is unbalanced. So the emotions you feel are totally balanced. The situation, that's to be expected. Um, though your next steps, based on the cards, is to try to make something out of that, to transmute that through, the what you might call the emotional alchemical process. Discovering how to transmute that energy that you're feeling inside of you, because it is inside of you. It's something that you're only experiencing right now, right? Other people might be able to see it, but they don't know exactly what you're feeling. So get that out in a way that is good for you, Leo. Definitely a part of your next steps there. So in terms of so that's the end of this general card reading. What I'll do next is tell you what the keywords are. They're also in the video description. So these are for the divined cards. All right. So the first word is person. The second word is truth. Third word, combination. And the fourth card is the secret card. Okay, so I'll display those now. So pause the video before I show. And here they are. Person, truth, combination, and then the secret is concept. All right, so those were the cards there, and then next what I'll do is explain which trigram we're looking at here. So we had yang, yin changing, and yin changing. So that is the trigram of thunder. So yang, yep, yang, yin, yin. So this is what it looks like. And so what you have is the upper two lines changing. So the bottom line is the first line, and then you have the second and third line, second and third line changing, both yin changing to yang, which changes to the trigram of heaven. Though you'll have to cast the upper three, and I definitely recommend it to give more insight into your particular situation, because each person is obviously unique. So that about wraps up the video, Leo. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support me, I have a Ko-Fi channel where you can download the generated cards, the keyword cards. Other than that, like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.